Facts First presents. Man expects a huge bear attack after saving the cub, but instead gets a hug. Before we get into this very entertaining story, help us out by clicking that like button, and also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. When you see a bear, your first instinct is to run. That's because bears tend to attack, and it takes only a few seconds for a bear to maul you. Bears are very protective of their young, and in Russia, when the temperatures are freezing, a mother and her cub were trying to get from one side of the lake to the other. Unfortunately, the baby bear wasn't as strong of a swimmer as his mother. At this time of the year, the temperature of the water was 4 degrees below zero, so cold the bear cub wasn't able to keep up with its mother and he was in danger. The current was strong that day, and the bear was struggling to keep his head over the water. As the mother was struggling to make it across the lake, the mother was also watching in horror as its cub was struggling. And then a fishing boat arrived. The fishermen on board thought that it was a typical day until they saw the bear in the water. The mother was close to shore at this point and the baby was struggling. The fishermen realized they had to do something to help the bear cub. The fishermen knew that they had to help, but they were a bit worried. The mother bear was still pretty close to the baby, and they knew that if they were going to save the baby, the mother could attack. The fishermen waited until the mother was a safe distance away from her cub before coming up with a plan to rescue him. Even after saving the cub, what would happen then? Would the cub attack out of instinct? Well, by bringing the cub on board, they could all have been killed. Finally, they realized they didn't have time to play out all the different scenarios. The bear cub was going to drown if they didn't do something fast. When the cub got close to the boat, he tried to lift himself up onto the side. Unfortunately, he was already too weak from trying to keep his head above water for so long, and he was unable to climb up. One of the fishermen on the boat realized he had to do something. While the man was grabbing some of the fishing gear to pull the cub in, the cub had other ideas. He used his sharp teeth to grab the side of the boat to give him the stability and traction he needed to get out of the icy water. The cub was also able to get to the side of the boat, but he couldn't climb aboard. The men were too far from the bears to grab him, and if they did, the bear could slip back into the icy waters. Also, the bear could attack them while they tried to pull him up, and somebody could have lost an arm if that happened. When the bear made eye contact with one of the fishermen, it was almost as if the cub was trying to gain their trust, to say, "Please help me." Well, that was when the fishermen used their fishing net to pull the bear into the boat. Even though the cub was a baby, he was still pretty big. The men had to use all their strength to get the cub on board while using soothing voices so they wouldn't panic him. Finally, they got the bear cub on board, and they knew that they had to reunite the cub with his mother somehow. And that was going to be dangerous because the mother was likely pretty worried about her cub and would be ready to attack. I mean, you have two strangers now with your kid. What would you do? The men knew they had to be cautious. One of the fishermen decided it was up to him to be the brave one and take the cub safely to his mother. He took the bear from the boat, carried him into the freezing water, and took him to the edge of the water. When he got to shore, he saw the mother bear. He began to panic since he was carrying her baby in his arms. But what happened next shocked everyone. The men expected a huge bear attack. Instead, the mother saw her cub was safe, and she took the man in her arms and hugged him. She was thanking the man for saving her baby. According to the man, it was the scariest and most incredible moment of his life. Subscribe for more.